finally, Mayor Michael Nutter. He is the mayor of Philadelphia and the president of the United States Conference of Mayors. As the leader of the official nonpartisan organization of cities with populations of 30,000 or more, Mayor Nutter speaks on behalf of 1,300 mayors nationwide. Before he was elected mayor of Philadelphia in 2008, he spent 15 years on the Philadelphia City Council. And our wrap-up speaker, the distinguished president of the Conference of Mayors, Mayor Michael Nutter of Philadelphia.
Senator Feinstein, all the members of this committee, I'm Michael A. Nutter, Mayor of the City of Philadelphia, President of the U.S. Conference of Mayors. I'm honored to have the opportunity to appear before you today on behalf of the nation's mayors to discuss the importance of passing the assault weapons ban of 2013. While we support several bills being considered by this committee, we have made passage of the assault weapons ban of 2013 our top priority. Gun violence also has been personal for you, Senator Feinstein, and it has certainly been personal for me. The first police officer my city lost after I became mayor in 2008 was killed by an AK-47 or SK-47 type assault weapon when he responded to a bank robbery in a supermarket on a Saturday morning. I will never forget that day. A 12-year veteran of the Philadelphia Police Department, Sergeant Stephen Lisbinski, was 39 years old. He left a wife and 3 children. Neither our police officers nor our citizens, and especially our children, should be confronted with these weapons on the streets of our cities, in our schools, in our movie theaters, in our shopping malls, in our places of worship, or in other civilian settings. Gun violence has certainly also been intensely personal for Mr. Neil Heslin, who's sharing this table with us today. And on a personal note, let me point out, this is my own personal feeling, that some of the statements made today have certainly been dispassionately disrespectful to Jesse and all others at Newtown and many other cities across this country. Mr. Heslin has been visited by every parent's nightmare, the father of 2 children. But with his help, we can hope to secure legislation that will spare other parents of other young children from the unimaginable pain of life lost to a weapon designed for mass killing. The December 14th tragedy at Sandy Hook Elementary School, which killed 20 young children and 6 educators in Newtown, remains incomprehensible to all of us. Too many times during the last year, mayors have expressed shock at mass shootings. Even more frequently, many of us must cope with the gun violence that occurs on the streets of our cities daily. Citizens have been killed on Philadelphia streets by handguns with high-capacity magazines, as well as rifles and shotguns. To me, and to America's mayors, these are weapons of mass destruction, and they are destroying our communities, our streets, our citizens, and our families. The U.S. Conference of Mayors has been calling for sensible gun safety laws to protect the public for more than 40 years. Our call for a ban on assault weapons dates back to 1991. Mayors and police chiefs from cities of all sizes have worked together in this effort for many years. We have done that because of the tremendous toll gun violence takes on the American people day in and day out. Every day in the United States of America, 282 people are shot, 86 of them die, including 32 who are murdered. Every day, 50 children and teens are shot, and 8 of them die, including 5 who are murdered. Gun violence disproportionately affects urban areas. Our nation's 50 largest metro areas have 62 center cities. And those cities account for 15% of the population, but 39% of gun-related murders and 23% of total homicides. Philadelphia, like many major cities, has struggled to control gun violence for years. However, despite our recent success at employing more effective policing techniques, deaths due to gun violence have not fallen. Let me use one set of statistics to illustrate this point. Last year, in Philadelphia, the number of shooting victims was 1,282. This is actually down considerably from the year before, and was the lowest number since we began tracking shooting victims in the year 2000. However, the number of homicide victims was up slightly, 331, 7 more than in 2011. How are these two statistics possible? The answer is that homicide victims have more bullets killing them. But to put it another way, there are more rounds being fired and more intentional headshots. Victims are bleeding out because when you're hit with 8, 10, 12, or 15 shots, even if you do not hit a major artery, you will just bleed out in the streets or by the time you get to the hospital. So despite better policing, when someone is shot in Philadelphia or many other cities, sometimes they are much more likely to die from the volume of rounds that hit them than anything else. I would note that Pennsylvania does not have stringent gun regulations. When the city of Philadelphia adopted strict gun laws a few years ago, our state Supreme Court struck some of those laws down. That is why we need federal legislation. Cities alone cannot reduce gun violence. We are doing everything we can, but we are still losing the battle in many instances thanks to the proliferation of guns in our nation. Philadelphia's story is not unique. Mayors everywhere struggle with gun violence, using scarce city resources to fight it. Resources that we should be using to educate our children, create jobs for our residents, and revitalize our cities. I have with me this morning a letter originally sent just 3 days after the Newtown tragedy occurred and now signed by 212 mayors, which calls on the President and Congress to take immediate action and make reasonable changes to our gun laws and regulations. Listed first among our recommended changes is the enactment of legislation to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines. I ask that you include that letter in the record for this hearing.
So ordered.
Let me conclude, Madam Chair. Mayors consider protecting the citizens of our cities our highest responsibility. We know that keeping our cities and our citizens safe requires more than passing sensible gun laws, including the assault weapons ban, but we also know that we cannot keep our cities safe unless we pass such laws. Your assault weapons ban bill is common sense legislation, which will help us to reduce the number of people, including police officers, who are shot and killed in our cities and throughout our nation. This legislation deserves a vote. This legislation deserves to be passed by this committee, by the Senate, and by the House, so that President Obama can sign it into law. I know it will take an act of political courage for many members of Congress to support the assault weapons ban of 2013, but the time for such political courage is now. How many more children, how many more police officers do we have to lose for our elected representatives to do the right thing? Please take action now on behalf of the most important special interest group in America, all Americans. Thank you.